Crimson Fist, because the feast is crimson. Oh my god. I almost asked earlier, it's like, why is their hand so red? It's like contrasting to the rest of the armor. Let's see what this video is about.
I have not summoned you for censure,
I got
but
some
to speak
peanuts as well.
earnestly. Rogel Dawn thought there was no higher purpose to the existence of the Astartes than the unification of mankind. I see that in you also.
I remember Rogodorn. Now this time I remember Rogodorn because we just watched Emperor TTS. Yes.
I, need men who fight bravely, even when faced with great tragedy. I have seen with my own eyes in recent days how you inspire intense loyalty in those around you.
Ooh.
And I see you hold duty above glory or vengeance.
Ooh.
My brother would be proud.
My brother would be proud.
Reassemble your chapter, Pedro Cantor, and look now to the future
Pedro?
rather than the past. The Loki sector and the Imperium entire has need of you.
Reboot. Oh, it's
The successor
said by
chapters of the
Reboot.
Adeptus Astartes would forge many deeds across the stars in blood, sweat, and toil. Some would become synonymous with glory,
Bald.
others grim necessity, and a select
First
few
bald
would garner a reputation as among
the
the
video.
most noble warriors of the Imperium. For today, we shall elucidate a storied chapter known as quite possibly the most valiant of the Angels
pretty
of
cool.
Death, the stalwart defenders of the innocent, the Crimson Fists.
Crimson Fist. Oh.
In the wake of the internment
There
of the
he is,
Master of
Emperor
Mankind
China.
upon the Golden Throne, with the conclusion of the Horus Heresy, a new generation of Astartes would be needed to combat the foul terrors of the galaxy. The legions of old had proven disastrous for the well-being of humanity, and shown that even among the Emperor's angels, none were beyond the enticements of chaos. In order to prevent further catastrophe of another civil war
What
led
the-
by demagogues,
He has a gun in his mouth. It's a mouse gun. Gold. Why does he have a horn? No, I don't know. Bald. Kinda bald. Bald. Bald.
war led by demagogues commanding vast Astartes armies, the Primarch of the Ultramarines, Rabute Gilliman, would pen a codex to limit their strength. Known as the Codex Astartes, this revered tome would outline the
Codex.
organization of the Legiones Astartes into smaller successor chapters. The Sons of Rogel Dawn, the Imperial Fists, would sire a new founding comprised of its remaining strength. Aside from its primogenitor, the remaining two chapters would be
Bald
characterized by the Legion's most prominent traits. The Black Templars would exhibit the zeal of its fury in battle,
Bald.
whilst the Legion's level-headed and collected souls would found the Crimson Fists. The most junior members of the 7th Legion, with exception to its senior commanders, the Crimson Fist would be led by their venerable hero of the heresy, Alexis Pollux, an expert at naval tactics
Oh my god,
and
look
an
at that
immensely
fist!
imposing figure in stature. Pollux would lead his chapter for 800 years before perishing, crusading across the stars as a fleet-based chapter.
This art is something, eh? I could tell from the way it's rendered and the proportion of the characters. This is an old art now. I just imagine a Chaos Space Marine infiltrating a chapter by wearing a wig. It's gonna work. If you wear a wig. Oops, I dropped my peanuts. If you have hair, you're not Chaos Space Marine. Very old. 6th edition Space Marine Codex cover art. Second or third?
The
Very
Sons of
old.
Alexis would over time be regarded as among the most competent, loyal, and stalwart defenders of the Imperium. Serving predominantly within the Loki sector of the Segmentum Tempestus, with their aid given to the Emperor's Holy Inquisition and the Adeptus Administratum, the
If you could hear crunching, that's me. I'm crunching some peanuts.
Crimson Fist would quell Xenos outbreaks and destroy corrupted Astartes chapters, such as the Sons of Gideon and the Marines Vigilant. Famed for their crusade of righteous liberation,
Ooh.
which would last for 3 centuries
Pointy.
and whittle down
Pointy
their number
helmets.
to only 128 Astartes. Building a close bond with the worlds of the Loki sector, the chapter would be granted feudal rights to establish their own chapter planet upon Rin's world. Gifted for their victory of the Voltigern Crusade, their new fiefdom of the Agri-world would, despite its proximity to viable neighboring recruitment worlds and resources, incur a heavy toll for the Crimson Fists. Constructing their new fortress monastery, the Arx Tyrannus, from the remains of their ancient battle barge, Rutilus Tyrannus, within the Hellblade Mountains of Rin's world's southern continent, the Crimson Fist would stave off countless greenskin invasions. Yet during 989.M41, a gigantic Orc war, led by the warlord Snagrod, the arch-arsonist of Caradon, would surround the Loki sector and resolve to conquer Rin's world. Massacring the defenders of the colony of Bad Landing, the citizenry would call for the aid of the chapter, to which its third company would heed their hails. Utterly defeated by the Xenos, the third company would face overwhelming opposition due to inaccurate intel reports, with few Astarte survivors escaping to their chapter world.
That's a big tank.
Recalling every member of the chapter to Rin's world, the Lord Hellblade and Chapter Master of the Crimson Fists, Pedro Cantor, would organize the defense of their homeworld and brace themselves for the onslaught impending from Snagrod.
Defend
An
the land,
invasion
Pedro.
force of unseen scale, save for the Greenskin invasion of the Second War for Armageddon. The Orc War would reach the surface of the planet by using an obscenely suicidal warp maneuver, which no sane human would dare to attempt. Every company of the venerated and proud chapter would face the Xenos and employ orbital defense systems, tiered defensive lines, and their martial skill to combat the Orc menace.
Which we'll never forget.
One of the planet's defense missiles would suffer a catastrophic failure and destroy the chapter's fortress monastery, causing a chain reaction within the chapter's arsenal of weapons, creating a vast explosion. Hundreds of Astartes, chapter serfs, and civilians would perish, leaving only 16 Astartes within the fortress monastery surviving its destruction. Rin's world's defenses would deactivate, allowing for the Orcs to overwhelm the surface. Reorganizing within the planet's capital of...
Where did the Orcs come from? They were created by the frogs, right? By the space frogs? Where did they come from? Who knows? They just appear by imagination. They always seem to be invading planets, eh? By the frogs, yes. They're created by the old ones. Yeah, I remember that one. But like, for example, in this history lesson we're having, where did they come from? Did they expound on that? I don't know. Hello, Salo, Greenskin. Crimson Fist, yes. This video is chosen by the wheel. From space, the arch-arsonists control a vast territory that bordered the Rain world. Just fly around and search for a good scrap. Spacer farm. There's a lot of orcs around and a lot of planets are completely under their control. Alright. They can appear from a space hawk. It's really called Space Hawk. Sheesh. Hello, average player. Made by the big frogs, reproduce like mushroom zoospores. Oh yeah, I remember that part. They're like fungi. They were made by the space frogs and they're closer to fungi than animals because of the spores and stuff. Spores. What if a spore... Because, right, if you think about the mushrooms, right? The spores are really small. How small are the spores we're talking? What if you inhale an orc spore? Is an orc gonna grow inside you? Oh, maybe that's how they are born. If you inhale the orc spore, it's gonna grow inside you and it's gonna come out of your nose. Yes. Yes! I don't know.
New Rin City, Pedro Cantor would reunite with the remaining Astartes of the chapter, numbering less than 400. Two choices would be presented to Cantor. Marshal his men
Red
for a
hand.
valiant last stand, fated to extinguish the chapter's future.
Wait! I just had a sudden realization. That's how you know they're crimson faced. Because the fist is crimson. Oh. Thanks for watching, everyone. I realized it like, oh, thanks for watching. Oh, like and subscribe. See you later. No, I'm joking. Like a normal spore, they'll rise from earth, especially cave. Oh, they're from the ground. They sound like fun, guys. Guys. Crimson Fist, because the fist is crimson. Oh my god. I almost asked earlier, it's like, why is their hand so red? It's like contrasting to the rest of the armor. And then, it's Crimson Fist, oh my god. Sheesh! Slow brain time. When they die, the spores are scattered and grow like normal mushroom until they mature into a snotling. Snotling! I wanna see what that is. Snotling. Oh! Yes, that looks like a snotling.
Or fight a guerrilla war of survival until reinforcements would arrive. Fighting for 18 solar months in small bands of warriors, the Crimson Fist would await the arrival of the Imperial Navy, and during 990.M41, the beleaguered Crimson Fists, now fewer in number than months prior, would face the Orc Xenos alongside fresh soldiers of the Astra Militarum, contingents of cousin Space Marine chapters, and deployments of Titan Legios of the relief fleet.
What are those? What the fuck are these? Servitors? Are these also servitors? Tech Priest, Mechanicus. This arm is disturbing. The spaghetti looks like roots. That's why I'm like, huh, what is this? I didn't realize they were Mechanicus.
Routing the War of Snagrod, the Crimson Fist would look upon their tattered homeworld, ravaged by a war of disgusting savagery and bloodshed.
Aww.
The Crimson Fist had lost over half its men. Their fortress monastery lay in ruins. Their gene stores had been ravaged, and many of the relics of their chapter had been destroyed.
Oh no.
Struggling for years
Underdog
to rebuild
story.
their chapter world, the Crimson Fist would harbor a deep hatred for the Orc Xenos, following their defiant stand upon Rin's world. Deprived of their homeworld's resources,
that's pretty cool.
the Crimson Fist now
That's pretty
venture
cool.
far from the reminder of their shame, returning only to mourn their fallen brethren.
Aww.
Following their near defeat, the Crimson Fist would find their circumstance to be a rare one among any serving Astartes chapter. Now overwhelmingly comprised of veterans and specialists, such as tech marines and apothecaries. No longer
Tech
viable
marines.
to act as a crusading army of the
Apothecary.
Adeptus Astartes, the Crimson Fist would be unable to commit its forces to wage war, with so many tasks committing its Astartes to rebuild and repair its waning resources. The chapter's gene seed, now endangered, committing any Astartes to fight in their state, would threaten the extinction of the chapter.
Oh no! They're almost
Hastening
extinct.
recruitment of new
They're
aspirants
endangered
into the
species.
chapter, the Crimson Fist would balance on a knife's edge, as its companies now numbered only handfuls of space marines. restraining their hunger for reprisal against the Orc Xenos in the surrounding Loki sector.
Mechanicals.
The Crimson Fist would temper their rage as the chapter rebuilt. Championing survival in the stead of personal glory, the legacy of their heroic forebear would provide great solace in their task of resisting their temptation to succumb to despair. Yet with the return of the avenging son of the Emperor, Rabute Gilliman,
Dude! The way they sculpted this armor? there's the compartment for the boobies right here. Oh my god. There's also compartment for the abs. Oh my god. This art? They didn't have to go this hard. You know what's missing here? Like nipples on the armor. That's what's missing here. he needs nipples on the armors.
the Crimson Fist would be delivered
On the chest plate.
from their plight. Rin's world would once more
Who's
be
this
beset
guy?
with invaders following the expanse of the Great Rift caused by the destruction of Cadia during Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade. Warp storms would emerge within the Loki sector as demonic incursions would spill forth upon the planet, led by the demon prince, Raxor.
Roxo?
Facing their foe, despite their still ravaged numbers, the
Well-
Crimson Fist would not allow the thralls of the ruinous powers to taint their homeworld. The timely intervention of the Primarch of the Ultramarines and his Indomitas crusade would aid the relief of Rin's world, and with the demonic threat quelled, a new breed of warriors would be bequeathed to the long-suffering Astartes.
Bequeath! That word is so funny.
Primaris Space Marines, clad in the heraldry of the
bequeath.
Crimson Fists, would be installed within the companies of the chapter.
Quick
Among
lady.
the most beleaguered chapters of the Astartes,
What video was that? Quick lady. Oh, I was watching PewDiePie's Elden Ring Elden Ring run because he tried doing like no death and, and he calls they call that I bequeath to you this horse. Oh my god. This car, the car lady, the car dealer. What's her name? I forgot. Quick lady. Ah, bequeath to you. I bequeath to you. Melanaya. Melana bequeath lady.
the Crimson Fist would be among the first to be replenished with their new Primaris reinforcements. Their genetic makeup more closely composed of their Primarch's own genome than any of their ranks. The purity of their new kin would harken back to the Great Crusade, as they had been kept in stasis for millennia as a contingency by the Master of Mankind.
The codpiece did have a practical purpose, but it was also a fashion statement, often worn outside of the armor. Codpiece. I thought it's for like so they could pee easily. Or it's for protecting the goods, you know? Old-fashioned assault. You gotta protect the goods,
For
okay?
some among these new warriors would recall personally observing the Primarch of the Imperial Fists, as they had been separated from their kin of the 7th Legion prior to being redeployed in the Imperium's
Oh, I'm
darkest
so
hour.
angry.
Now bolstered with a new breed of Space Marines, the Crimson Fist would be renewed with the inspiration of the Primarch of the Ultramarines and continue to wage war in the name of the Imperium. Their long-suffering not over, the sons of Rogel Dawn would regardless emulate the example of their
Rogel
Primarch
Dawn.
and the Avenging Sun as saviors of the downtrodden of the Imperium. Dispatching his reinvigorated chapter to aid the most beleaguered of engagements across the stars, the Crimson Fists emancipate the defenders of the innocent in measured yet wrathful deployments,
So much jewels on
aiding
him.
Imperial forces against demonic and Orc invasions. The chapter maximizes their efficiency with minimal casualties to honor the sacrifices of their slain battle brothers. Their noble sacrifices and deeds resounding throughout the Imperium as true paragons of humanity. As strict adherents of the Codex Astartes, the Crimson Fists view the tome akin to a sacred text,
They adhere to
varying
the
slightly
codex.
from its outlines with their own
Very
customs
closely.
earned through strife. The Crimson Fist would honor their past glories. Following the chapter's colossal losses of the Crusade of Righteous Liberation, the chapter would number only 128 Space Marines in strength, and honor its first company henceforth by comprising 128 Astartes within its ranks. Following the combat doctrines of the Codex Astartes to the letter, most engagements by the Crimson Fists are broad in their methods of waging war. Countering any
They're very
opposition
strict.
with various tactical approaches, the chapter adapts quickly to changes in their enemy's deployment with exacting precision and well-trained reprisal attacks. Crusading for millennia, the chapter utilizes more specialist units than the dictates of the Codex Astartes allows, and boasts an extensive naval armada. The chapter utilizes more specialist units than the dictates of the Codex Astartes allows, and
Wait! Why would you still call it naval armada, but they're not on water, they're on space? Hmm? Hmm? They're in space! Sounds suspicious. Spaceship. Yes, but there's no water! Ah! It's entirely possible that the entire reason the cat's bulgur has no point is because its entire purpose was a dick joke. Oh no. Don't worry about it. But their ships, yes.
boasts an
Aw.
extensive naval armada, which is the envy of most Astartes chapters.
Okay.
Maintained by the chapter's tech marines, each vessel also harbors an Astartes apothecary, allowing for the preservation and retrieval of gene seed during the most fraught of skirmishes.
That's a gene seed! Did you see that? Oh, he was holding the gene seed. What if it's not the gene seed? What if it's just like a random organ he found? Is this a gene seed? How? Maybe. The gene seed is shaped like that. Zoom in, enhance. A gene seed!
Their numbers annihilated with the loss of their fortress monastery and the invasion of Rin's world by the Orc Xenos. The chapter would remain
Looks like a
under
squid.
strength, yet rebuilds to this day. Fielding 4 severely reduced companies,
Wow.
many scout cadres trained to one day ascend to the honored battle companies. Yet with the timely intervention of the Avenging Sun, Rabute Gilliman, the chapter has once more been reinforced with new companies of Primaris Space Marines. Slowly replenishing
He's
their
always,
forces,
he's always
the Crimson
helping
Fist
them, eh?
took to the stars once again as a crusading force, with each company led by a hero of the Rin's World campaign. Though with such a large contingent of its forces, of its Primaris Marines still unproven in the eyes of the chapter, their efficacy remains scrutinized.
Oh.
Interacting with the populace of Rin's world rarely, the Crimson Fist would be seen as aloof by the people of the Agri-world. Yet with their dismantling
really
of their
cool art.
fortress monastery, the Arx Tyrannus,
He has
from
a
their chapter
mirror on
fleet,
his chest.
and
What the hell?
reconstruction within the Hellblade Mountains, their continued presence would be enshrined around the ancient statue of their forebear, Alexis Pollux. Destroyed by the Orc War of Snagrod, it is unclear if the Crimson Fists have rebuilt their fortress monastery with their subsequent recovery efforts of Rin's world.
What is a
Recruiting their forces
Primaris?
from many worlds within the Loki
New breed. Developed by Dominus Belisarius. Made by Cow. Cow. Upgraded Space Marine. Modified the Astartes. Okay. It's 2.0. Wow.
sector. Strangely, for a chapter with a base of operations, the chapter do not actively recruit from their homeworld. Preferring to draft recruits from feral worlds, such as Blackwater, the Crimson Fist see
Blackwater.
great potential of the denizens of the world, infamous for its harsh conditions. Ferocious, yet noble people, the humans of Blackwater and its contemporaries are intimately familiar with adversity and stoically struggle against the world's harsh environments. Drawing only from warriors, proven to exhibit honorable conduct and athleticism, the Crimson Fists only recruit those suited to be followers of their own creed and culture. Transitioning from a fleet-based to world-based chapter, The Crimson Fist, while
World-based
accepting recruits
chapter.
from Rin's world and its neighboring planets, regardless still prioritize the peoples of Blackwater with their annual traversal to the planet for the Festival of the Bloodied Fist.
Festival of the
Ceremonially
Blood
evaluating
Fist.
their aspirants through trials of mental, martial, and
Blood
spiritual
Fist.
toil. The Crimson Fist command those successful in their trials to delve deep into the toxic swamps of Blackwater.
Ooh. They
Tasked with
delve
slaying
in
a
the
barb dragon
swamps.
with their
Ooh.
bare hands, only the most capable of aspirants shall return with a token to prove their success in slaying such a dangerous beast.
You have to you have to slay a beast to be part of the feasts. Do you have to feast the beast? You have to feast the beast. Yes. Yes. Oh no. Spacebook says this is bad. Codex Astartes does not support this action. But still, they have primaries, yeah? They are more detailed and more real accurate figure of Space Marine in tabletop. Dragon asking for a feasting? Yeah.
Appointed to the 10th Company with their
Yeah.
successful surgeries and psycho-indoctrination, each neophyte of the Crimson Fists shall undertake the ritual known as the Steeping.
Everyone has primaries nowadays?
Should they succeed in accepting their newly implanted organs and gene seed, these neophytes shall be known as full battle brothers and be appointed to one of the reserve companies. The chapter's gene seed, though incredibly stable, nonetheless bears the flaws inherent among all inheritors of the legacy of Rogel Dawn.
He's so old.
Unable to utilize the Betcher's gland, allowing for their saliva to become corrosive, or the
What?
Susan membrane to facilitate
Corrosive
deep hibernation.
saliva.
The Crimson Fist regardless
Oh my
boasted
God.
genetic purity, free of mutations or chaos contamination. Able to recruit at a hastened
But they have
rate
corrosive saliva.
compared to their
Yeah.
peers, the Crimson Fist, though under strength, are among the best suited to replenish their ranks. Escaping extinction time and again throughout their history, the Crimson Fist regardless stave off obsolescence. Burdened with the genetic curse of Rogel Dawn, the Crimson Fists, alike to their cousin successors of the 7th, shall not retreat from battle
Grievous.
nor suffer defeat in the name of the Praetorian. Their stubborn refusal to live with the shame of defeat, the Crimson Fists are fortunate to have not succumbed
No
to
shame
the
of
same
defeat.
fate suffered by countless annihilated chapters of the 7th.
They cannot
For the
leave
descendants of the
without
Great
the shame
Father
of defeat.
would rather die than bring dishonor to their chapter.
Sheesh. It's all about honor.
Among the Crimson Fists, several specialist ranks exist to facilitate duties not prescribed by the Codex Astartes. The Lord Hellblade is the title attributed by the
That's a
people of
beautiful
Rin's
art.
world to the chapter master of the Crimson Fists.
Hellblade.
Recognized as a member of the Imperium's feudal
That's a big
nobility,
feast.
the Lord Hellblade leads the elite First Crusade
Lord
company
Hellblade.
in the defense of the chapter homeworld. The master of the fleet oversees the void command of the Armada, yet does not hold the rank of Astartes captain. Whilst the Monitor, a senior astropath of the chapter serfs, presides over the communicatus of the once Arx Tyrannus. Astartes aspirants unable to accept the chapter's gene seed and implants honor the chapter as labor serfs and are treated with respect by their brethren, despite their failings. Regarded as the Chosen, these
The
individuals support
Chosen,
their ascended kin
ooh.
during combat as messengers, skilled laborers, and major domos who lead the personnel of the Chosen as their overseer. Acting as the personal attendant and confidant of the chapter master, the major domo is crucial in their deeds of facilitating the administration and coordination of the chapter's menials. With the loss of their fortress monastery, the Crimson Fist would utilize their chapter keep of the Zona Regis of Rin's world, the Cassar, as their new base of operations.
Damn, they also make like detailed maps for this universe, huh? That's pretty cool.
Harbored within
The
the Silver
Spire.
Citadel of New Rin City, under the protection of void shields, the chapter serfs dispatched to the protection of the chapter's contingent fortress toil to facilitate the needs of the chapter, whilst also rebuilding the Arx Tyrannus. Revering the legacy of the Imperial Fist Legion, the
The
Crimson Fists
Mohawk.
retain close ties to their primogenitor chapter and its last war protocol kin. retaining many of its traditions, such as their proclivity to champion defensive strategies and battle doctrines. Unique roles of their forebear, such as the title of Emperor's Champion, remain, but in a much diminished state.
Emperor's
Permitting a
Champion.
singular warrior to adopt the panoply of the Emperor's Champion of the chapter on only the rarest of circumstances. Only the direst of conflicts require such a revered harbinger of destruction. Gifted visions from the Master of Mankind himself, they shall claim the black sword and armor of faith of the chapter's armory and hunt their preordained foe in battle. Yet such an instance has not been recorded since the destruction of their fortress monastery during
There's
the
no
invasion
champion right now.
of Rin's world.
No
With some
Emperor's Champion.
speculating that such artifacts have been lost to the chapter during the conflict. Invited to the Imperial Fist's Feast of Blades alongside their kin of the Black Templars, Celestial Lions, Death Strike, Emperor's Warbringers, Excoriators,
That's a lot.
Executioners, Fire Lords, Fists Exemplar, Hammers of Dawn,
Fist Exemplar.
Iron Knights, Knights of Dawn, Sons of
They're
Dawn,
very good at that.
Soul
They're
Drinkers,
exemplary
and
at
White
fisting.
Templars. The Crimson Fists compete in the Centennial competition to strengthen their bonds of kinship. Choosing a company champion within their ranks, each member of the Last War successors battle in a test of arms to earn glory for their chapter. Awarding the victor custodianship of the artifact of the 7th Legion, the Sword of Sebastus, also known as
Open
the
glove
Dawn's
of
Flame. The winner shall host the
the
next
lake
tournament
share with us
and choose the
wisdom.
locale for the next
Oh, no.
competition a century following. The yearly calendar of the culture of the Crimson Fists also bears many sacred
heck,
days
so
of
old.
devotion, which honor, yet do not worship, the Emperor, their Primarch, and their great father, Alexis Pollux. The Miracle of the Blood is observed by the chapter every year to mark the date of their
Miracle
chapter's
of the
founding.
blood.
20 chaplains of the Sacratium perform a ritual utilizing a drop of Rogaldorn's own blood,
What?
kept preserved within an ornate scepter.
What? They keep his blood in a scepter. They preserve Dorn's blood in a scepter and use it every year to celebrate a festival. That's very suspicious. Sounds pretty heretic to me. You have many champion of the Emperor. It's a title you can found among the many chapters of Rogaldorn, a title to remember Sigismund, the first champion. It's so weird. They keep the blood of Dorn and then use it every festival. Okay. In old lore, Sons of Dorn shit as a ritual. Oh no!
Releasing the dried lump of blood from its
I
confinement
guess that's better.
to observe
Alright.
its rejuvenation to liquid form. This ritual reminds the chapter that their Genesire's presence still remains among them. The day of
Ate shit?
foundation
Oh, they ate
coincides
shit?
with the
No
Festival of
way.
the Blood
Nice
and
job.
honors the glories of their forebears by holding private
Reference
ceremonies
to really
to
bad
study the
Spain,
writings
no?
of Alexis Pollux and Rogaldorn. Recounting tales of their most glorious deeds, the Battle Brothers of the chapter cherish the deeds of their ancestors and seek to apply lessons learned from their legacy to forge their own legends in an introspective and humble manner. The Festival of the Bloodied Fist marks the ascendance of the Scout Marines of the
Festival of the
chapter
Blood Fist.
into fully fledged Battle Brothers, requiring the aspirants to slay a barb dragon bare-handed upon the death world of Blackwater. Their success in the ritual of the steeping is a moment of immense pride for those who succeed in their trial. Submerging their left fist into the blood of the slain barb dragon, this
Oh!
tradition marks their right to bear the crimson-clad ceramite fist of their new power armor suit.
They feast the blood of the
The Day
dragon.
of Renewal
Okay.
marks the chapter's replenishment of their gene banks. with the
Dude! His boobs are so huge. Even in this art, they're very prominent. I cannot unsee it.
reinforcements gifted to the chapter during the Indomitus Crusade. Vowing to renew their chapter to its former glory, the Crimson Fist resolved to repay their debt to the Lord Commander of the
Primarch
Imperium,
Milkers.
Rabute Gilliman, for his salvation of their chapter's dire circumstance. The most revered champions of the chapter are gifted immense power fists to use in battle as
The power
symbols
fist.
of their deeds made in the name of their chapter,
They're
and shall
gifted
use
power
such
fist.
instruments of war to bludgeon their foes into bloody pulps. Claiming the teeth of slain orcs in battle,
Shield of
the
humanity.
Crimson Fists collect such tokens of their kills to be displayed within trophy rooms of the chapter,
Oh my god.
adorning their armor in not only teeth, but also talismans made of orc skulls and tatters of orc banners claimed in battle. The Crimson Fists display their victories against their foes with macabre pride.
Mm.
Clad in deep blue armor, trimmed with crimson and white markings, the chapter's armorials are among the most reserved of all chapters of the Adeptus Astartes.
Oh, they're so
Their
reserved.
proud sigil of a crimson fist, clenched across a black field adorning their left pauldron. Their proud heraldry symbolizes their heritage as successors of the Imperial Fists, whilst honoring the Great Father, Alexis Pollux. Steeped in the tradition of Rogel Dawn's ritual cutting of his palms and those of his recruits, before
Ritual
clasping them
cutting
to
of
share
his
their
palms.
unity in blood,
What?
the Crimson Fists uphold the bond first forged by their gene-sire,
Oh, it's a ritual. Okay.
denoting their
Sure.
rank with unique
Sure,
conventions to
sure.
the chapter. Scout Marines, while attributed with
Oh
red
my god, Dawn, you're so
trim
weird.
their handguards with blue to signify their lack of attaining their namesake. Every battle brother of the senior companies paints their left gauntlet alike to their chapter icon, while each veteran of the Crimson Fists also coat their right gauntlet with blood red to signify their membership of the elite Crusade Company.
They just paint it. It's not
Stern
really
Guard
red.
veterans of the First
Ah,
Company
I see.
paint their helmets white, whilst lieutenants mark their helmets with a red stripe centered on their helmet. Otherwise conservative in their heraldic markings, the Crimson Fists adhere to the Codex Astartes in their methods of identifying their battlefield roles and squad identifiers. Their right pauldron bears their role as battle line, close support, fire support, veteran, or command, each centered upon a crimson roundel. White high Gothic numerals are stenciled
Rituals strengthen the bond within community, so it's very reasonable to invent and implement them.
on the center of their
Alright.
battlefield role to indicate their squad number, yet the chapter does not signify their company numbers with numerals. Trimming their armor pauldrons with varying colors to denote their companies,
There's also a
each
fist on his
company
face.
captain also garners a unique title and are responsible for unique roles within the chapter. The First Battle Company mark their pauldrons with white and are led by their current Master of Crusades, Ishmael Acario. Known as the Crusade Company, the elite vanguard of the chapter charges into battle at full strength of 128 Astartes in only the most fraught of battles. The Second Battle Company, the Shield Wall, mark their trim with gold
Shield
and are led by the
Wall.
Master of the Shield, Stefan Hyost. The Bulwark against the Darkness, the Second Battle Company specialize in defensive maneuvers, akin to the legacy of the Imperial
Oh my god, this
Fists.
video is so detailed. Sheesh.
The Third Battle Company, the Red Lightning, trim their pauldrons
I'm not
red
gonna remember all
and are
this.
led by the Master of the Line, Faradis Anto. Experts of hit-and-run tactics, the Third Company target vulnerable weak points in enemy defenses to allow their allies to further exploit the opponent's battle lines. The Fourth Battle Company, the Crimson Lancers, are led by Master of the Charge, Isidore Helios, and mark their trim with green. Known to be brash warriors among their kin, the Crimson Lancers are headstrong warriors, regarded as among
You want nipples on your armor? Look to the Blood Angels. They wear ornate armor with nipples.
the mightiest fighters.
The Blood Angels, let me see. I do like the Blood Angels. They're pretty cool. Let's see the nipples. The wallpaper. Maybe it's in the wallpaper. Oh, this guy has poopy. This guy has nipples, dude. Indeed. Oh, the nipples! They're real! He has black nipples. All you need to remember is that Pedro Cantor is a mega chad. Pedro! Look at those nipples. This is the only art with nipples though. Where the others? And nipple boy. That one, it's an AI art? Is it? I guess because there's a face on his thing, and this is kind of weird. Hmm. I thought it just looks like that. I don't know, man. It's so funny though that there's two nipples right there. Oh no. This one, no nipples. I think these ones are figures now. Or maybe they're 3D, I'm not sure. Nothing official? Blood Angels.
Within the chapter. The 5th Battle Company, the War Riders, trim their pauldrons black and are led by the Master of Steeds, Razel Solano. Charging into battle atop jet bikes and other armoured vehicles,
Jet
the 5th
bikes?
Company are the hammer blow of their chapter and overwhelm their opponents with the treads of war.
Where are the bikes?
The 6th Reserve Company, the Iron Guardians, are led by the Master of the Watch, Alejandro Solari.
Master
and
of the
trim their
Watch, he knows
pauldrons
the time all the
bronze.
time.
Analysing threats to Rin's world
Master
and
of
its
the
fleet
Watch.
contingent, the warriors of the 6th Company are astute tacticians focused on defensive manoeuvres to preserve their long-suffering chapter. The 7th Reserve Company, the Wardens of Rin, trim their pauldrons purple and are led by the Master of the Gates, Castian Alzonas. The stalwart guardians of Rin's world see to the planetary defences of their homeworld and coordinate their company with the planetary defence forces. The 8th Reserve Company, the Red Path, are led by the Master of Blades,
Oh my god, there's so
Gerard
much!
Garasso, and trim their pauldrons grey. Experts at close quarters combat, is proficient with melee combat, and are among the greatest duelists of the chapter. The
Oh.
9th Reserve Company, the Fists
This
of
guy
Rin,
is just info
trim their
dumping everything
pauldrons
on
with
my
blue,
head. Whew!
and are led by the Master of
boy.
the Siege, Raphael Acastus. Masters of protracted warfare, the 9th Company are relentless in their harrying of dug-in adversaries and fortifications. And finally, the 10th Scout Company, the Wayfinders,
There
are
are
led
10
by
companies.
the Master of Shadows, Caldemus Ortiz. The lifeblood of future heroes of the chapter, the Scout Marines of the 10th Company obey the commands and guidance of their superiors before proving their worth as warriors, capable of fighting among
Tell us about the
many
5th company.
reserve
I don't know.
companies.
I forgot. I forgot
Following in
already.
the footsteps of their founder, Alexis Pollux, the Crimson Fists honor the legacy of their legendary Imperial Fist captain with their characteristic level-headed demeanor and effective tactical acumen. Consistently championing the outlined battle stratagems of the Codex Astartes, combined with their adoption of blue ceramite, many detractors of the chapter, including those of their own kin, regard their character more alike to an Ultramarine successor than the vaunted Imperial Fists.
Oh.
Their reverence to the 7th Legion,
That's why they're blue.
fervently upheld despite such scrutiny. The Crimson Fists are immensely adaptable to the ever-changing battlefields
Gilliman is
they are
like
thrust
babying
into.
them.
Constantly
Maybe not
harassed by
babying
orc
them,
warbands
always like
within the local
saving
sector,
them.
the chapter never wants for targets to hone their skill in combating the Greenskin Tide. Serving with distinction among the ranks of the Death Watch, despite the misfortune of their chapter, the Crimson Fist do not shirk
I
their
forgot
ties
everything.
to the elite Xenos hunters of the Imperium. With some records pointing to Crimson Fist
Impossible to know the lore throughout without the power of Potassium. Oh
comprising
no.
as many as a quarter of several Death Watch kill teams, their preferential treatment by the Ordo Xenos of the Inquisition is well
That's a
earned.
big hammer.
Already renowned as experts at killing their hated foe, the Orc Xenos, every Crimson Fist among the ranks of the Death Watch is a valuable asset to the Chamber Militant of the Ordo Xenos.
Death Watch.
Considered entitled to unfair privileges by their peers within each kill team, the seconded Crimson
Wait, the Death Watch is also part of the Imperial Fist?
Fists nevertheless garner immense favor from the Inquisition for their expertise in dispatching greenskin threats. Reputed to have tithed more Astartes than any other chapter to the Death Watch, the Crimson Fists care not for the envy of their peers, nor slights made against them. petitioned for aid by the Adeptus Administratum and Inquisition on numerous occasions due to their pedigree as orc killers.
Pedigree.
The Crimson Fist heritage
Like a
of the
doggy.
7th Legion makes them extremely capable as both an aggressive or defensive force against the Orc Xenos. Adept at slaying other Xenos races,
That what recruits
such
from
as
all
the Eldar
chapters.
during the chapter's first
I
recorded
see.
engagement in defense of the
Oh,
colony
boobies.
of Uralek Prime. Their 9,000-year crusade to cleanse the galaxy of Xenos has made them synonymous with combating such alien threats. Due to their severe losses following the invasion of Rin's world, the chapter focuses primarily on surgical strikes to prevent further casualties to their already beleaguered and understaffed chapter.
Death Watch is the military wing of the Ordo Xenos and is compromised by Marines from many chapters.
Yet should the Crimson Fist return to full strength, they shall be
I
the
see, I see.
bane of untold Xenos across the stars.
They are the
When a
Bane!
man dies before his time,
Bane
how
of
much
untold
is truly
Xenos.
lost? More than just a life, certainly. A branch withers and bears no more fruit. Futures are erased, paths closed that can never be reopened. Would his offspring have been saints? Killers? Both? When a man dies before his time, the answers go with him.
Oh.
This begs the question, should not all men be saved?
Rin's World, Black Library Schmeckle.
This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer. The Crimson
Remembrancer.
Fists are among the most noble of bearing of any Astartes chapter. Their honor and glories unimpeachable by any. There are few more noted for their empathy or compassion. Seek to emulate their example in defending the weak and facing the darkness.
Face the
There is
darkness.
no shame in failure. Should you refuse to give up in your duty to protect the innocent, no matter the dangers you face.
Sheesh! Sadly, or the Terminator armor was destroyed in the debacle, or were scavenged by orcs. The battle continued. Oh, or more Terminator armor. That was very informative. I forgot most of it. But I remember that they're very strict. They stick to the codex and they have, you guess it, a Crimson Fist. Oh, I could not believe it when I saw it. Their fist were red. Ooh, goddamn. No. And they're like endangered species. Crimson Fists are like endangered space Hispanics. Yeah, and also they have the blood of Dorn preserved somewhere, and they use it to in the festival of Bloody Feast or something. And they gotta hunt the dragon to prove their worth. They're the first Space Marines made by Games Workshop. Oh. Interesting. Well, the blood of Dor. They're on the cover of the first codex. Okay. Well, like and subscribe. Hey, so thank you for watching. All of the Sons of Dawn are on the spectrum, but Crimson Fist are great.